Hey folks, Captain James Nelson here from Dude Craft Guitars. Thanks for tuning in. Hey, I got some stuff to talk about here before we get going. First of all, it's Saturday. It's 4:30 a.m. That's right, 04:30, and I'm getting ready to go out on a charter. This is something I set up back in February. I have a friend who's doing a Mako tournament type thing. It's a charity fundraiser thing. Conway, thanks for inviting me to help out. It's been a lot of fun. We were out on the water yesterday and will be out on the water again today. Pretty much all day's trip. So this is a great thing. So I got up early to get a little bit of work done here. Getting this video for you guys. There's not going to be any great guitar build off going on today. I won't be working on the guitar last Saturday. I barely worked on it because I got so much I still got to do with these for my customers. And that's just the way it is. Tomorrow I'll be in the spray booth with this one and working on some others that I've been doing, some staining and some rub downs. You'll get that footage today. That's what we're going to do. This is a day at the Dude Ranch, and I'm going to show you what I've been doing in whatever time I've had to do it in this week. So just to let you know, but I have to share something with you. I let one of my customers know that his guitar is not going to be on time as much as I'm trying. So I had to send him a message, let him know, and this is probably the best response that a guy could ever imagine. He sent, "No worries, James. I prefer that you don't feel rushed so you can do your best work. I want the relaxed SoCal vibe in bed if possible." So, yeah, what a great comment, Lucius. I really appreciate that, and that's it. I mean, I've said it before. I'll say it again. The longer I have the guitar here to work on, the longer you'll want to keep it. But I don't want people to think I'm dilly-dallying. I mean, far from it. I haven't taken a day off in a while, and I'm not complaining about that either. So it's kind of hard. It's kind of a hard thing to talk about. I love my work, and I can do it, 20 days in a row and not have a complaint about it. I'm just letting you folks know that there are other distractions. It's not. The Captain moniker comes there for a reason, and we're seeing the COVID release, and people are, they've got their hall passes and they're getting out and they're enjoying the beautiful weather that we've got out here. And I can't blame anybody. And yeah, if there's a day open and I can take you out in the daytime hours on that boat, I'm going to do it. That's what I do for a living. And that's a passion of mine, is sharing the great outdoors with people, as well as the beauty of making music. So this is one that we're doing now. It's, as you can see, it is what looks like a JM body, but this is not a left hand. This is actually a right hand guitar, and this one is basically upside down. So I had a customer want me to custom commission this for him. Never done it before, but now I decided we're going to do it. We're going to make these, and it's going to be called the Debbie, excuse me. Debbie as in Debbie Downer. So we're going to call these the Debbie. This is the first one, and actually I'm just making a body only. The customer's got, I think it's got, I don't know, it's CGE or some type of aluminum neck that he's putting on it. So that's going to be pretty cool. I don't know if I've got footage of us getting this far on this one anywhere, but I'll tell you, I would not have it ready for the paint booth if it wasn't for my wonderful, beautiful daughter, Lydia, helping out, and she's helped out a lot here, taking care of a lot of the heavy load while I am on the water. So that's going to help us get caught up, and so that's an announcement I needed to make for all the customers. What you will get some footage of is this one. Now this one is a JM, but this one's a 7 with you can tell it's got slanted pickups. This is going to be a multi-scale. So this is a 7-string baritone multi-scale, and it's going to have an asymmetrical neck shape to it, so that's pretty cool. So there's some footage on this. There's some footage on a Mimi that I'm doing that also has an asymmetrical neck, and yeah, so this is going to be fun. This one's it's a one-piece swamp ash. Really nice and light. And as you can see, we're trying to get that curly maple is going to have the only spot with the color. The rest is just going to be pretty natural. I think I got a little amber going on it. Like I said, you'll see the footage. Enough talking. Yeah, I appreciate you guys tuning in. Hopefully I've got some educational enough material here that you'll learn as I'm learning, because like I said, I'm always a student. But yeah, I think I might have, I don't know if it came out yet. I'm about to edit it, so if it came out, I'm showing you guys how I mix shellac. It's not necessarily to the recipe of what you'll see on a lot of how folks mix shellacs, but I do it a little differently. But I'll show you how I do it, and show you how I got this to here. And then next time you see anything, I'm sure this thing's going to be finished, probably not cured, but at least the spray. I'm going to do a spray poly coat on this from here. Might do a rub on it first just to get it to really pop, work that wood, and then do the clear coat over that. But it's going to be gorgeous. Thanks again for tuning in to Dude Craft Guitars. If you haven't done all that click and like and subscribe and all that sharing with friends, do so, please. I mean, you're helping us grow. The more we grow, the more we show. All right. So if you guys recall the last episode of Day at the Dude Ranch, we worked on this black limbo model here. This is the Mimi, and this one's going to be pretty cool because this is a baritone Mimi. So I actually kind of beefed it up a little bit in the back, put a little bit extra wood to this guitar than our normal Mimi would be, kind of like a junior model. So this one's got a little more to her hips. And what we did is kind of took advantage of all that spalting gnarliness that you get with black limba and kind of made it extra cool. If you haven't seen that episode, go back and check it out. We did some really neat things with some resawing, and I'm just doing it from there. So here we are, getting some oils and shellacs and everything else going, a little bit of amber, and I found a spot in the back I really didn't like the way the glue up went, so I basically sanded it back to the natural wood itself behind the glue up, and just kind of pulled the glue up back, and it pulled out just some richness to it that I really liked. And what I'm doing here with the brush is just kind of enhancing it, you know, just taking that old Max Factor quote and running with it. You know, I said that a little bit of product and a little bit of time, you can make anyone natural beauty, and that's what I'm doing here. So putting in a little bit of product and a little bit of time, bringing out the natural beauty of this wood. And yeah, that's all. It's just work, and just rub. And here we are with the True Oil, getting it all nice and rubbed in, just working it over. Now you're only seeing part of the process. There's a lot of rubbing it in and hanging and letting it set, and then coming back, sanding, rubbing, letting it set. Do this about 12 times or until you just get worn out. No, I'm just kidding. Yeah, it's funny. It's a process that you'll see as it's happening. You'll just know when it's time, and that's when you set it even longer. Let it cure for about a week or so, and depending on your weather. And then when it's really nice and cured, then you can come in and start buffing it with product. You know, like your rubbing compounds and waxes and stuff like that. Really get it just spiffy looking. And that's where I almost am with this. I think I'm going to sand it a little bit just to scuff it, to take on a couple more coats and get a couple more in there and just get it really groovy. It's a beautiful finish. Look at that. Yep, there you go. So we're going to hang that up and let it do its thing. Hey folks, we're going to take a moment out here and I'm going to talk to you about shellac. Now, I'm sure you've seen before, I love the stuff. I use it all the time. So we're going to talk about how I go about mixing it. And yeah, don't buy the pre-made stuff. That's great if you're going to use it right away, short term, but if you put it back in the can and leave it for a while, it goes bad. It doesn't last as long as making it yourself, and it's a lot cheaper doing it this way too. First thing is, let's talk about portions. Now, it comes with the recipe,
You don't have to follow it to the gram, but I'm going to show you how we do it. Now, I was making it in, as you could probably tell, I like this stuff. Now, I was making it in these things because when we went to the store, that's how we got it a lot of times, is 2 of those little things. Now we get, instead of 1 bigger one. So this one's going to be different. On the little ones, I knew basically to put up to the bottom of the label with the crystals, you know, not totally level, and then I'd fill it about up to there with the alcohol, the denatured alcohol, moonshine as I like to call it. But now I've got this one. It's going to be a little different. Now you can, what's really cool is follow the recipe, so that's what we're going to do. First thing is you want to make sure, after you've cleaned out all that almond butter, you've washed it, make sure it's nice and dry. I'm sure a little water won't hurt, but if you can get it out without scratching the back of your hand up too much, go ahead and do it. So we're going to take this here. Now, I'm just using a little postal scale. It does have a little tear, so I'm going to tear it down to 0. And this puppy here says we've got 250 grams of this, so we're going to go to metric. I said, there we go. Okay, so I got kilograms. So we're going to go 250 grams and to 1 liter. Now this is about 3/4 of a liter. So I'm going to put it in there right about to the bottom of the label and see if it's about the same. So I got a little bit heavy there. Okay, and now this is what they call a 1 pound cut, which is funny because we're talking all these grams and liters, but now I like to have it a little light anyway. I like a little extra alcohol, gives me a little more stir time and a little more shelf life. I have a bad habit of, when I'm working a piece, of leaving this thing out and get a little bit of evaporation. So that's the way I like to do it. So I'm probably not going to put that much in there anyway. So basically what I'm looking at is this whole bag will fill a liter. This isn't a liter. So I'm, like I said, I'm going to go with less than a 1 pound cut on there. And I'm only going to fill this up about 3/4 away, being that it's 3/4 of a liter. Figure that's about half a liter I'm putting in there. So really I would only want 150 of these if I wanted to go with the 1 pound cut. Again, I'm going a little thin. I'm going to go about 50 grams. Come on. It's amazing what a couple flakes weighs. Okay, it's a little bit over, but that's okay. So, okay, so that's about half of what I would normally want to run to normally go with a 1 pound cut in here. So again, I'm just going to fill that up to about probably the top of the label. Yeah, that's not even half a liter, and you got to remember we have the can you tell I was on the water all day? So that's not quite half a liter, and that's including the flakes. So there we go. Now what I like to do is put the tap on and just do one of these just to swish it. I'm not shaking it, and I'm not really swirling it too much, just a little bit, and then I'm going to leave it. I'm about to sand this thing, and then that's going to be it for me in the shop. It's after dinner. It's about 7:30ish, so I've only got about 30 minutes more work. So I'm going to sand this thing next. Then when I'm done, I'm going to do that again, and then leave it sit. You can't use this stuff right away. You got to let it sit, you know, at least overnight. 24 hours to the minute is actually better, but at least leave it sit overnight. So I'm going to do that, and then I'm going to kind of swirl it again before I go to bed, and then do it a couple more times, probably tomorrow in the morning before I go to work, and then do it again before I use it. Then we're going to stir it. That's when we'll stir it with a stick right before you use it. And that's it. That's pretty much it. And as you can see, after a while, these jars they get a little worn out. One other thing I could tell you on shellac, if you're using it as a seal coat, like we do a lot, I do it big time. I use it as a dye adhesive, and I use it as a seal coat. Get the de-wax flakes. Don't get the standard flakes. If you're using it as a topping coat, get the standard flakes. So if you're using shellac and you're doing like French polish, it's not a bad idea to have both. So you're using one as the build-up, and then you go through with the standard waxy type for the last couple layers, and it just really helps bring out a real nice finish. That's it. That's all I know about shellac, and as you can tell, I stumbled through most of that. So I mean, it's easy stuff to use. It's a little more difficult to talk about when it's 7:30 at night after you've been up since 4 a.m. Let me get back to this, and yeah. Thanks again for tuning in to Dude Craft Guitars.
Okay, so what I'm doing here is just taking off a cut off from the neck headpiece, a little wedge that we make so many of. Got a lot of door stops hanging around here. Anyway, and I'm making a cover plate for the back, and yeah. So it's just kind of shaping it up, and then what I'm going to do after all the bandsaw action here is just finish shaping and sanding with, just a sanding block and getting it down to shape, and so that it fits and sits right in, and sand the body. So it's all about the sanding. You see, I've got what looks like black paint that I'm sanding off. Well, that's actually black paint that I'm sanding off. I just like to fill the cavities with black paint, and it's so much easier just to use rattle can. So I just spray a little bit. I'm going to sand the top anyway, and that gives me kind of a judgment of how much I'm sanding down to. Basically, I'm just sanding that paint off, and I don't need to sand much more than that, other than working the courses, starting with 80, going 120, 240, and then 320. And that's pretty much what I'm going to do. Now, on the edges, the outer rims, I actually sanded more to a 400. And, when I say I don't work alone anymore, which is I'm very grateful for. I do have Lydia helping out, and boy, here she is. Just look at her, just working that thing over and owning that machine. Now, I have to give credit where credit's due, and you see that nice lightweight white hose that we're using for the dust extraction? That is so much easier than your standard shop vac hose. I got that from Chris and Matt at Texas Toast, watching their channel. If you guys haven't checked them out, check them out. They're really cool dudes, and they love sharing information, and this is one of the things that they've shared recently on a video, and I saw that and thought that was just the greatest idea, and it is. It really works. If you're using one of these random orbital sanders with the dust extraction like this, get one of those hoses. It's real easy to modify it, the attachment for your shop vac hose or your other dust extractor, and it's worth it.
Hey folks, thanks again for tuning into this episode. I know it's not necessarily a guitar or woodworking related, but if you get a chance, check out Cast Hope. I'm going to put some links in the description of this video. Please check it out. You can tell I just got off the water. Can you tell? Look at that. Look at this face. Time for some aloe vera, I would say. Yeah, check out Cast Hope. It's a great organization, great thing that they're doing for kids, and what can I say? It's near and dear to my heart. I hope you enjoyed this episode, and I hope you have a wonderful day. Thank you, and God bless.